We regularly feature long-form interviews on the Mike Gallagher Show podcast, and this week we learned about an organization called Braver Angels, braverangels.org, an organization that's dedicated to kind of lowering the temperature, listening to both sides of arguments. And I had a chance to chat with Wilk Wilkinson. I want to play for you a little snippet of that interview, and then you can find the entire interview on the Mike Gallagher Show podcast. I heard about Braver Angels, which is an organization described as America's largest grassroots cross-partisan organization that is dedicated to depolarizing our polarized times. And I thought, boy, I want to spend some time learning about the group. And it seems like a very noble effort. And we said to these folks, can we talk to somebody who kind of represents the spirit and the intent of Braver Angels? And they introduced us to Wilk Wilkinson. He's a conservative, a Christian. He hosts a podcast called Derate the Hate. And he, is described as somebody who is inspiring others to embrace growth and navigate challenges with grace. Wilk, it's great to have you on the Mike Gallagher Show. Welcome aboard. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Mike, and it's just a great honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, the honor is all ours, and we're excited to chat with you about Braver Angels because I read about your sort of journey with Dr. Francis Collins. And let's face it, the pandemic has left a lot of anguished, angry people forever. It changed our country. It changed the world. The way we responded to it, of course, really, really has left people frustrated and alarmed about our ability to just submit to a lot of power. Before we get to that journey that you were on with Dr. Francis Collins, formerly of the NIH, tell us a little bit about your association with Braver Angels, because I was drawn to this group, try to learn about them, what it's all about. Look, you and I both have one political worldview and an ideological perspective that, of course, the left doesn't agree with. But why, just to explain to us how you came to be connected or associated with Braver Angels.
So, Mike, back in 2020, beginning of the pandemic, I myself was probably a much more toxically polarized kind of person, but I had been on this personal journey to kind of depolarize myself, to detoxify myself from a lot of the anger and animus that I had. And in doing so, I started the Derate the Hate podcast. And within, I don't know how many months of me starting the Derate the Hate podcast, a couple local ambassadors here in the state of Minnesota, the state in which I live, reached out to me and asked if they could come talk to me about this thing called Braver Angels that I had never heard of, but it was right in my wheelhouse for the kind of things that I was trying to do, bettering the world one attitude at a time. And then my own personal journey, I thought, hey, this is fantastic. One of the things that I suffer from is this toxic polarization thing. So they came on the podcast, I talked to them, and I signed up that day as a member, Mike. I was just so, it seemed to me such a powerful thing for our country. I consider myself a patriot. I consider myself somebody who loves our country, but understands that this polarization thing is just something that's got to be addressed. And so I signed up as a member that day. Now, ironically, there is a bit of an imbalance in our membership because we lack conservative representation. And so being the case, I started doing a lot more with them because they'd reach out to me as a conservative guy and say, hey, we do not have enough voices saying the things that you're saying, doing the things that you're doing, voices that believe the things that you believe. Can you participate in this? Can you do that? We need your voice here. And that was, going on 5 years ago now, I believe. And it's been an incredible ride. I've learned so much being a part of that organization. I've helped others learn about people like you and I, Mike, who are from the conservative side of that political spectrum. So that's how I got into it, and it's been one of the greatest honors of my life, just being a part of this organization.
Was there a tipping point or an event or a reason that you said, I've got to be maybe less, I don't know if the word is bombastic or over the top or, sharp elbowed. Those are kind of the ways that I've sort of described myself over the years. And let me start, before you answer that, by sharing with you what my sort of journey has been. Look, I've got friends in my life who are absolutely terrified right now. They are worried. They think Trump is the devil. They think that Elon Musk is Satan's spawn. They believe that the country is going to go up in flames, that everybody's rights are being stripped from them, and it's just a horrific Armageddon. And their fear is real. I mean, Wilk, it's not performative, and when in one particular case, a family friend of mine who is just really, really over the top, really gone. And I started thinking, instead of ignoring them or making fun of them or mocking them or marginalizing them, why don't more of us try to say, let's at least try to have a dialogue. Let's try to explain why we feel the way what we feel, but with that, also ask you why you feel the way you feel. I mean, just these tariffs this week, I'm like, why are people rooting against America? That people are rooting against the country because they don't like Trump so much. I want to kind of get to some clarity from their point. So in other words, was there an event like that in your life, a friend or a family member or somebody that kind of sparked you to make that sort of decision to embrace a cross-partisan organization like Braver Angels?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it was a combination of things, Mike. I think, I think back to that period of time, and I had started a horribly failed T-shirt company called Failed Understanding Apparel, and the letters FU was the whole concept behind it, right? And I was participating in a lot of that online social media toxicity, and started losing friends because of it, because of the way that I, you talk about the sharp elbows and bombastic way of saying things, and just that hyperbolic toxicity that so many people participate in now. Well, I started losing friends. And when you start losing friends, when you don't consider a lot of people to be friends, and you start losing the ones that you have, you start to, or at least I started to say, okay, what's the common denominator here? What's going on? And being somebody who preaches a lot about personal accountability, I started taking it back to myself. And then I started looking at the results of what I was putting out there. And I'm like, am I changing anybody's mind by saying the things that I'm saying? Am I opening anybody's mind by saying the things that I'm saying? And the answer for me kept on coming back to no. It just wasn't happening.
I really believe in the mission, and we ought to do more of what you all are doing. So braverangels.org. Wilk Wilkinson, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us here on the Mike Gallagher Show. Keep fighting the good fight.